It's about the restoration of our republic. We want to educate, encourage, enable the power. We stand for integrity, honesty, self-reliance, self-defense, and most importantly, no compromise on our foundational principles. This is America's Voice Now.
Find America's Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
All right. Good morning, America. You're listening to America's Voice Now. If you're just joining us, you're stepping in about halfway through our program this morning. Glad to have you on board. You can catch America's Voice live every morning on americasvoicenow.org. You can also listen to it on Patriot FB Radio. Join Patriot FB, that's Patriot F like Foxtrot, B like Bravo.com. It's an opportunity for you to have a Facebook-like experience, but without the trolls, without the censorship, and all the nonsense. There's another great website out there where you can do the same thing. It's constitutionclub.ning.com. Constitution Club has a unique feature, which is that they've got a micro website set up for every county in the nation, all 3,300 of them. So you can meet and find other people in a county that you live in. Maybe somebody that just lives across town that you didn't even know existed, who's got similar thinking and skills and would like to cooperate or work together with you to try to help restore and preserve our republic. Take advantage of those opportunities and join those two sites. Now, the Citizens Action Network is another great website. I encourage you to get out there, Citizens Action Network. Please make sure that you visit the folks over at judicialwatch.org. Why? Well, I got to tell you, Judicial Watch is a law firm that, and I generally don't have a whole lot of respect for lawyers, but these guys are utilizing the law to expose what's going on. These are the guys who were able to pull off this exposure on what's going on with the Benghazi issue. Despite the fact that Congress has had all this time, they've had all this power, the mainstream media has literally billions of dollars, unlimited sources of revenue and resources, connections in high places. They can't get it. Judicial Watch, this little group, goes out there, files a Freedom of Information Act, and shows up with the smoking gun and the bullet with the right imprint and the whole 9 yards. I mean, fingerprints on the gun, DNA on the trigger. These are websites that you'll find are going to give you, watchdog.org, another great site, watchdog.org. Visit these sites. Use this as your source of news and information, not, the mainstream media out there. They're misleading you. Reason.com. Reason.com. Reason. Great magazine. Hard-hitting exposures and exposés. I got to tell you, these are the sites that really make a difference for us as Americans. This is the alternative media you should be looking at, because they're the only ones who are telling us what's really going on. Everybody else is in bed with the devil. Podesta came out yesterday. I mean, this guy just, he's another one of these guys that is on the same level as a David Plouffe or a Eric Holder or, just a living, breathing example of arrogance, hubris, criminality, and ideology at all expense. Doesn't care how many die, doesn't care how many are injured, doesn't care how many walking wounded, stepping over the bodies, slipping in the blood with a smile on his face the whole time. White House advisor John Podesta tells reporters on Monday that Congress could not derail the Obama administration efforts to unilaterally enact policies to fight global warming. Let me just tell you what that statement means. It doesn't get much more in your face than we're going to pass all the rules we want, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Nani, nani, foo, foo. We can do what we want. We've got all the power, and you can't stop us. I got to tell you, folks, that kind of juvenile reveling arrogance, it's immaturity on a level and a scale coming from the people who are supposed to be the best and the brightest in the country. And it's abhorrent. The president is committed to using executive orders to pass regulations under the Clean Air Act to limit carbon dioxide emissions that cause global warming. You know what? Again, this is not science. This is commissioned art. That's what it is. It's commissioned art. This is all propaganda, folks. It is no different than what you saw coming out of propaganda masters like the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany and Communist China that you see coming out of these countries every day. No difference whatsoever. The only difference is in the language they're using, the words they're spelling. They're using English. Russia uses Russian. China uses Chinese. The message is the same. Their methodologies of accomplishing the indefensible, the unconstitutional, the unethical, the immoral, the illegal varies and differs. But is it any small consolation to you that it's the EPA who has stolen your land or shut your business down? Is that a consolation to you over the guy in Russia who was just crushed by the KGB or whatever the equivalent of one of their administrative agencies is, that was used as a weapon of mass destruction? That's what this is. It's no different. This is a dictator wielding a sword. You know, it's given a guy. There was a video one time I watched, and I know this is going to be taken by everybody as the wrong thing. They're going to say, you're a racist. It was this video one time I saw on YouTube, and it made the rounds as a joke. It showed these guys who were, I think they were Congolese fighters or something. They were somewhere in Africa. And they were all standing around with these AK-47s. This is a real video. And they handed a chimp or a monkey or an ape or whatever this AK-47 fully loaded with no safety on. And, you know, it shows the monkey playing with this thing, and, you know, he's looking at it, and he's looking down the barrel, and, of course, there's no safety on now, right? And it's, you know, as he's playing around with it, suddenly he turns around, and this thing starts going off, blop, 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 blop. And these guys are diving for cover. They're all laughing while he's playing with it, you know? And then suddenly they're all diving for cover. It was actually quite funny. My point is this. What you're doing essentially here is the same thing. You are giving an enormous amount of power to these people, these agencies. They have no idea what the outcome will be. They don't have the ability to reason, to logically think through to a conclusion the unintended consequences of their actions. No more than that monkey knew that if I touch this piece of metal, this thing is going to go pow, pow, pow. But if I touch that piece of metal, it doesn't. Monkey didn't know. Look at the lineup, the list. I mean, it's endless. There are hundreds of them. Most of them don't even have, they're duplicative. They replace, they all overlap and do the same nonsense if they do anything at all. Everything they do is destructive. Everything they touch turns to crap. Nothing is better after having gotten their touch of snake oil on it. Nothing. Show me one administrative agency that has actually improved things for you of late. Show me any administrative agency that has improved life as we live it. Oh, I know. There's those Kool-Aid drinking ideologues out there on both sides of the political arena. And then there's the environmental extremists out there who say, it's okay to kill off millions of humans as long as the planet's saved. Listen, get out of here with that nonsense. I mean, come on. If it was you and your family and your children, you wouldn't be thinking so rashly, would you? It's that stupidity that has no basis in reality. I mean, if you're so willing to see human beings killed off so that the planet can survive, well, let's start with you. Take you and your entire family, go find a high bridge somewhere and jump. You want to reduce the carbon footprint? Show us by example how it's done. What kind of idiocy is that? It's okay, though, as long as it's other people, right? Really? I mean, you can't even boil that down to some kind of a rationalized kernel. There's no nucleus to that thinking. But they're the ones who are pushing all the buttons. They're the ones who get all the attention. They're the ones who are gaining traction. While the rest of us are sitting here just paying for it. Not only paying for it, fiscally and financially, but we're paying for it with the destruction of our society. We're paying for it with the constant, the psychological abuse that's going on right now is just tantamount to torture. Listen to the lineup: the IRS, the DHS, the FCC, the USDA, the BLM, the Interior, the EPA, State Department, and NSA, FBI, CIA, the NRO, the NASA, NASA, the FDA, the SEC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, Department of Energy, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the FTC, National Labor Relations Board, National Transportation Safety Board, OSHA, NRC. What the NSF, Small Business Administration. What are they doing for small businesses? Find out. International Trade Commission, what are they doing? Well, they're trying to give us the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and the TTIP. Another trade agreement that will make, NAFTA and CAFTA look like two kids playing marbles instead of World War II. Look, find me one thing any of these agencies do. What does the EPA actually accomplish for you of late? Ask yourself that question. And how can they accomplish anything good, mired in corruption so deep that even their nose is not above the stench and the pile of excrement that they've created? Look, people, these executive actions should be sending klaxons of alarm through the nation. Alarm bells should be flying, should be sounded every morning from every church, from every synagogue, from every city hall. Those should be alarm bells ringing. The number of flags thrown on these plays should replicate a confetti drop after the Super Bowl. The sky should be full of confetti of flags thrown on these plays. Where are they all? You don't have to be anything other than just an observer. You don't even have to be a particularly astute observer to look around you. And, I mean, look behind you and look at the scorched earth. They're laying waste to an entire nation. They are laying waste to a nation. 300 million of us. And to what end? For what purpose? What is the accomplishment? What's the end goal? How is laying waste to everything that we know to benefit us? How is laying waste to our financial system, our healthcare system, our energy system, our foreign policy, becoming an oppressive imperialist, how is that benefiting to us? Giving away our jobs, wiping out our industries, empowering our foreign enemies, aiding and abetting known sworn enemies of the nation. Show me one benefit that comes from that. Just one. Short term, long term, midterm. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Show me any. There aren't any. This is indiscriminate murder by psychopaths. Murder of a nation. The victim is 300 million of us. This isn't making us stronger. It's not making us better. It's not improving our opportunities. It's not improving our odds of survivability. I mean, for crimini's sake, save the planet at the expense of the lives of all the people on it? What's the point? I know there are those who actually believe that, humans are a virus on the surface of Earth. And I mean, and maybe we are, but we're sentient virus, okay? And before you indiscriminately decide that it's okay for you to make the decision for all of us, we might have something to say about it. Thanks very much. I mean, the incredible, it's beyond my comprehension that average, everyday Americans are not just saying, that's it, we're done, we quit, we're on strike. We're on strike about everything. We're doing nothing. We're all going to go. We're going to stage a massive national sit-in that says nobody does nothing, nobody goes nowhere. That's it. We're all finished. We're done. We don't even have a list of demands. We've just had it. We're done. I mean, really. What else is going to resolve this problem? What, the same people? You mean Trey and John Boehner and John McCain? You mean Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid? You mean Sally Jewell from the Department of the Interior? You mean Jay Johnson from Homeland Security? You mean these people are going to? You mean Podesta? He's going to solve the problem. He is the problem. These people can't solve anything. They're the creators of chaos. And that is their real goal. From chaos, order. The only problem is it'll be rewritten as the order which they wish to see. And I promise you, that won't be in your best interest either. Power is an addiction, like any other addiction. And someone who begins, drinking excessively in their life doesn't suddenly, go from 1 or 2 martinis a day to 6 martinis a day over the course of a couple of months or years or whatever it takes them to achieve. I mean, it's a progressive disease. It's a progressive disease. And an alcoholic or a terrible heroin addict doesn't suddenly wake up and say, today, I'm clean. Today, I'm going to do all the right things. I'm going to go out and get a job, and I am never going to use drugs again. I'm never going to drink again. And suddenly, their wife comes back, and their dog, loves them again, and they get their home back. I mean, is that how it works in reality, ladies and gentlemen? Is it? Or does somebody have to make amends, pay the price for their actions? Here's the problem. The people who are going to pay the price for these people's actions, that be you. There's no amends for what they're doing. And there's no forgiveness for, you see, these aren't people who want to commit suicide. These are people who want to commit suicide and take everybody else with them. They're homicide bombers. Not in a literal sense. In a political sense. They don't care. They just don't care. It's either I achieve my goal or I go down in flames and I take everybody with me. Who gives them that power? Where do they abscond that authority from? Goodness gracious. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the utter failure of the judiciary system when we need it most. Don't be lulled into a false sense of complacency about some prayer ruling from the Supreme Court. That's small consolation for the dozens of cases that have been accomplished of recent vintage that have destroyed more of our fabric than I care to admit. We'll be right back.